Join me, Ryan Elliott, for Teen Matters. The things that make us laugh, make us cry, inspires us and frustrates us. Every Thursday between 5 and 6 p.m. on Seclo Sounds. Tell us your stories. Email ryan@seclosounds.org. Then join me, Ryan Elliott, every Thursday between 5 and 6 p.m. on Seclo Sounds.
Welcome back to Transition with me, David Stimson, live here on Thursday afternoon on Seclo 105.5. And I keep pausing for that because we're at the end of January and I still haven't got used to the fact we changed the station name over Christmas. We were Seclo Sounds when I went away for Christmas, and when I come back, we're Seclo 105.5, which is cool. Still with me in the studio is the delightful Linzi and her co-star in an upcoming movie, Clark Tribe. How you doing, Clark?
How you doing?
Looking at me now. I'm not
All
talking,
good.
I'm staying here. Now, but just a minute ago, we've just come back from listening to Craig Hamilton with Wake Up Call. Good mate of yours, yes?
Yes, Craig is, yeah. I said earlier I was used to do a lot of unlicensed boxing for many years. I know Craig through the boxing circuit.
Is that where you met, is it?
Yeah, that's right. We've got back in touch recently, became quite close friends again.
And now he's working for you?
Yeah, now he's starring for me in a film. He's actually meeting me at 4 o'clock outside the studio here to go for some dinner.
There you go. His treat, I
Lovely.
take it.
Yeah. yeah. It's all on you, Craig. Aye?
I can see Susie now going, we didn't say that.
No.
No, it'd be good. He's a good guy, actually, Craig. He was in here a few weeks ago. For those of you that do want to listen, I'll put the podcast back out there again so you can listen to both Craig's and now Clark's.
I'd just like to say I think that track from Craig there is very relevant to being against the drugs and that.
It kind of fits a lot with what you were saying beforehand, and I think it was it's strange, actually. Quite different stories of how you got to where you got to, but both of you feeling exactly the same about those past times, and going, actually, you know what? You can turn your life around, can't you? Because I'm sitting here looking at, I'm looking at two perfectly, incredibly. I'm feeling like a right scruff. It has to be said. I turned up looking for radio. You two have turned up looking like you just, I don't know, were at the NTAs last night, and you just stepped off the red carpet. So I'm being put to shame nicely, but that's okay because you can't see us. Now, you did something not a lot of people can do, didn't you? You went, actually, enough's enough. I'm going to walk away. One, that's hard enough to do on yourself.
Yeah.
Two, you've then gone on to support other people and prevent other people from going down that route and kind of be the role model that, or the mentor figure. Would that make sense with all the sort of crime stuff that you've been doing to stay out of things?
Yeah, a lot of people know me round my way, certainly. And I can imagine a lot of the younger generation were looking up to me and respecting me like I did my elders when I was a kid, looking up to people, So hopefully they take note. And even if 1 in 100 don't go down the roads I went, that's still a hell of a lot of victims that ain't going to be suffering.
No, and that's the thing we have to remember with all these things, isn't it? It's not about stopping 500 people or 1,000 people. Or whatever. Small numbers have a huge ripple effect.
Yeah.
And if somebody looks up to you and goes, actually, do you know what? He's doing all right. He's okay.
They just got to know it's not. It's like I keep saying it's not clever. We've spoke about some of my big cases. I've got to live through things for the rest of my life. Do you see what I mean?
And I suppose
I've ruined lives.
On some nights,
and it ain't clever.
Yeah, and you're not going to necessarily know when you're going to come across that somebody or that thing from 20, 30 years ago rears its head and goes, oh, you were the one that was, you're trying to get back in for one of your upcoming movies, and suddenly you find out that one of the backers was a kid and was a victim of one of those crimes, albeit indirectly, and that could have that knock-on effect, I suppose. In the same way we talk about now with people with social media, and I'm sitting here now. Lindsay's got one of these arms that's perfectly calibrated for the ideal selfie. It has to be said. I think it's a genetic mutation that the human race is going through. That our arms are becoming the perfect focal length, for a phone camera. It's hilarious.
She likes a selfie, don't you?
I don't mind a selfie.
Well, I can see why. I mean, look at the pair of you.
Yeah.
Slightly different. I need a wide-angle lens. Definitely never seen sideways onto a picture with me. It's just not good, So I do a lot of work with the schools in Milton Keynes, and one of the things I say to them, is you can't hide from social media. Social media is what it is. It's only going to get bigger. It's a fantastic platform for a lot of things. But in the same way you're saying with your crimes, just remember, if you put a tweet out there in the world, It's out there in the world. Yes,
Yeah.
with tweets and all, you can go back to Snapchat and Facebook and all the rest of it and delete your comment, which is brilliant. But if one person's liked it or shared it or retweeted it, it's there forever, and you never know when that's going to come back.
Yeah.
And I suppose your past is similar.
Yeah, yeah.
Quick question: do you enjoy working with the young offenders and keeping people on the straight and narrow more than you enjoyed being a crook?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Why are you looking at me?
No, I'm not. It was just a real...
Well, no, because, I was, we're talking 20 years of crime, and I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. It wasn't until I realised what it was doing to myself and other families and people that I've had to turn that around.
Yeah.
And I think that the main turning point for me was when I used to have to sit on that visit hall, and my kids would come in, and they don't want to leave me, and they're getting dragged out in tears, and... That's
got to hurt,
when
hasn't it?
Hit me.
Your kids do make a difference to your life.
Yes, certainly, yeah.
So, I'm keeping an eye on the clock. I could talk to you for weeks, it has to be said.
Yeah.
You're such an interesting guy. You've written a book about all this, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Do you want to plug the book quickly?
The book is called Is It Clever? Cool. It's a crime diversion book. It's got full backing of Sussex and Surrey Police and Sussex and Surrey Probation Services. We're looking at getting it finalised and published in July. And it starts from my childhood, everything I went through, the life of crime. It's from the very start all the way through until the end.
Wow. So
it is an in-depth book. It talks about some big cases, some big crimes.
Yep.
There's a lot that... We've hit a few brick walls with how we're going to get around certain things because of legalities.
Yeah, there's some things you can't publish, aren't there?
I can't publish. There's things that I can't talk about. It's... But I still have to keep it flowing in reality. But there's things I have had to cut out. There is things I've had to word it in a different way. You get my drift.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's quite interesting, actually. You said you got the backing of a couple of police forces there. Did you ever think 15 years ago, when you were sitting behind that door closed at night with no lights on going... Do you know, one day the police are going to endorse me?
Yeah, no.
Never in a million years, was it?
No, not at all.
And of course, from there, you've now gone on to write this movie, haven't you? Yeah.
Well, it started off... I've known Luing Andrews for some time now. We became very, very good friends, bestest of pals, together all the time. We've now gone into partnership on a company we've set up called Slammer Productions.
Yep.
That goes live, I believe, next month. We're just having all the website built at the moment. Mm-hmm. Luing's written his own movie called 8ish, the movie. Okay. That's about gangland London and the connections with the IRA. It's got some superb storyline. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of media write-ups about it. It's going to be a massive hit. It's going to be a very big hitting movie. That's the first one. That's all ready to go. We've got all the package ready. We're in chat with 3 or 4 different production companies.
Oh, right, so that's all happening.
Yeah, and distributors. So we're waiting to go on that. That's set to be released on the 30th of December this year.
Okay, cool.
Can't say too much, but we're looking at delays. At the same time, we want to start shooting Babes, Booze and Bullets very shortly after. Mm-hmm.
Of course, and Linzi has a starring role in that, do you not?
I do, yeah. I'm playing a character called Sienna, which is someone who falls for Charlie. In the movie.
And you would be Charlie?
Yes, I'm playing Charlie, the lead character, yeah.
And of course, she did.
Yeah. So, yeah, those two, they're both set for December this year.
Yeah.
We are looking at delays at the minute. We're not talking low-budget movies. We're not talking... film an
I was going to say, the stuff I've seen hits. For this is proper, isn't it? This is a real bona fide 100% movie.
So we have 8ish, we have Babes, Booze and Bullets... Manhattan Cop.
Right, okay, cool.
I'm also working on another movie that isn't ours. It's Sammy Lee's, which is with Dave Courtney, who I know is a fan of yours.
Absolutely.
I'm playing that in March. We've got another film called Pecking Order, which is sometime next year. And there's also a TV series that we're working on called Top Shelf. Wow. Which is, again, about the drug game.
Please do. Whenever those sort of projects come live, let me know and we'll happily get you back on here.
Certainly, David.
I suppose there's 2 things happening in the UK with our movies and production and film and TV. One, Since the days of Robin Hood, we love a good baddie, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, the anti-hero, it's a big thing to us British.
Lovable rogues.
Yes,
yeah.
completely. And we do make a really, really good, gritty, true-to-life crime drama. And we seem to be able to do it in a way that just other countries just can't seem to get that I don't know what it is that we put into our stuff, but it's something that's just that added level of realism, I suppose, that you definitely don't get in American movies.
No.
I remember looking at the remake of Get Carter to the original English film from years ago with Michael Caine in it, and there's no explanation at the end of the Michael Caine movie. He doesn't. It's like you're saying with your movies and your life, I suppose. You know, this is a guy that goes out. Effectively, it's a revenge movie. He gets his own back on everybody. He's walking along a beach in Tyneside, I think it is. You've seen the movie, have you?
What one?
Get Carter.
No.
He's a gangland enforcer. He does time. He comes out and he tracks down all the people that effectively have wronged him. And he puts his life back in order. And during this process, he goes around and you know, the usual everybody ends. But it's set in the sort of east end of London in the 50s and 60s, and then up into Newcastle and around that area. And the final scene is him walking along a beach in this mining town outside Newcastle. And when I say a beach, it's not much more than a slag heap. You know, the final fight, if you like, happens on this slag heap with all this coal and the equipment and everything else. And he wins, and he's walking down the street, and he's quite proud of himself as he's walking along this beach. And then a sniper hired by somebody that he's accidentally wronged in the process of putting his wrongs right, shoots him on the beach. That's how it ends. In the remake, many years later with Sly Stallone, he walks away. He gets in his car and he drives off alive, ready to live his life. And in the English version, it just ends. You know, so that's, I suppose that's what we can do with crime dramas that other places can't. Even if that was the most long-winded explanation.
We got there in the end.
Well, I loved the movie, and I started talking about it, and I thought, actually, do you know what? I really loved the movie, but I can't remember very much about it. So Sienna falls for Charlie, and because Charlie in the movie, am I right in believing that it's a big gangland movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Drugs, well, babes, booze, and bullets all over the place. Capturing, I suppose, that lovable rogue crime life. Do we root for Charlie? Do you think the audience will, or is he the anti-villain that we really think he's a nasty piece of work?
He's a lovable rogue.
He's a lovable
rogue. He's released from prison. While I was away, while Charlie's in prison, his dad Barry, he keeps the empire going, which he originally built, which Charlie took over.
Right.
He goes to prison. He does a 9 stretch. Comes out, Barry's kept it going, so his dad's basically stepped out of retirement, kept the thing going. Charlie goes home to his wife, which is Mandy, and his daughter, what's his daughter?
And his daughter, Mandy and his daughter.
Christ, my head. Anyway, so he goes home to his daughter and his wife, and then I start falling for Sienna.
Yeah.
Come out. A lot of people have been disloyal. We have to arrange killings. We're importing firearms. We're importing drugs. It's a real.
It's a real
deep,
proper,
dark, heavy film.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we need those in life. It's nice to be able to look in that world, I suppose, from the safety of your couch.
Yeah. Melody. That's my daughter's
Melody.
film. Sorry. I can't believe I forgot that Melody's actually played by my daughter in real life. Elise Tribe. She's definitely going to give me a dick tomorrow.
You are not going to live that one down, are you?
God,
No. It might be a real gangland killing before long.
She'll be taking it.
Yeah.
I suppose that's going to be the way you describe that is really interesting as well, isn't it? Because this is someone whose dad has handed on the business and retired.
Yeah.
And he has to come out of retirement. So as much as it is crime, it's still a business. It's still that's just
reality.
the way of life.
It's happening out there.
Yeah, and that's what makes these things interesting. That's what allows us to put things in a really.
There's a lot more to it. There's a lot of twists. Again, there's a lot of media. There's a lot of press on it. There's a lot of hype about Babes, Booze and Bullets out there in a minute, as well as 8ish. Saying how they're going to be big hitting movies. They're meant to be knocking a lot off the the other big headlining
Yeah.
films out of the water.